Would you say these people are the zombies of Brazil?
Prácticamente. Esa droga los deja como un zombie.
Bem-vindo ao inferno.
The main strip here in Sao Paulo, the new Cracolândia, is right here. We got a robbery going on right now, right behind us right here. Someone's robbing them. Now they're punching. We just saw a 12-year-old doing crack cocaine here on the street. Is that normal to see someone that young doing drugs here on the street?
Yes.
Welcome to the city of zombies, Sao Paulo, Brazil. While Sao Paulo is the largest city in the Americas, it is home to one of the most dangerous locations, Cracolândia. Cracolândia is the largest open-air drug market in the world, and it used to be just a small zone in Brazil, blocked from the public by a barricade, so dangerous the police would not even dare enter. Now things have changed, and the area of Cracolândia has been taken over by the police, creating a whole new problem as addicts move throughout the city in a zombie-like state, living underground, in the streets, blocking off bridges, all in the search for the next hit. To see the city of zombies, I met with a local who understands the inner workings of Cracolândia, and we started at the original Cracolândia next to a popular train station, and throughout this video we will continue to progress to locations that just get worse and worse and more dangerous as this problem plagues the city. And as soon as we got to the original Cracolândia, we saw some people doing crack in the middle of a busy intersection. Now we're heading into Cracolândia.
Uma coisa importante, as pessoas muitas vezes não são muito abertas a comunicar-se. Então, tem que ter cuidado para não provocá-los de alguma forma.
We're in the middle of the street right now. Buses are coming by, and the people are right here openly doing drugs out here on the street.
É que os homens falaram que não são autorizados a falarem com entrevistas.
So who's telling them that they can't speak with people?
Eles não quiseram falar quem foram as pessoas, só falaram que não é bom que eles falem com reportagens.
This person right here says she'll talk to us if we address her as a female.
Meu nome é Vitória.
How long do you have here?
17 a 18 anos. Eu sou adicta.
Ainda, entendi.
Uso droga. Bebo cachaça.
Muito obrigado. And while we're doing this interview, we have what looks like a 14-year-old here on the corner. He just whipped out a crack pipe. He just whipped out some drugs. He's 14 years old. We're going to see if we can go talk to him. Você?
Não pode. Criança não pode falar.
Really? Because he's young, we can't talk to him.
Não pode entrevistar criança.
What is the age of that young man over there? ¿Cuál es la edad de este joven? ¿Cuántos años tiene la crianza? He's 12 years old.
Sí.
Is it normal to have 12-year-old, 14-year-olds here on the streets doing drugs?
La legislación brasileira prohíbe la populación carente da Cracolândia impede a gravação do rosto e da imagem da criança.
So it's something the government's trying to hide?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what the heck's going on. The guy I'm with right now don't speak Portuguese. I understand a teeny bit because I speak Spanish. But it's like a whole different language, obviously. And how long have you been working with the people here on Cracolândia?
6 years.
And how have you seen Cracolândia change?
Na verdade, they are in everywhere. They used to stay in just one quarter, and now they are in everywhere.
Really? So was it good for the government to disperse them, or has it been bad for the city?
Bad.
We just saw a 12-year-old doing crack cocaine here on the street. Is that normal to see someone that young doing drugs here on the street?
Yes, because the guys, they don't like to stay with younger, you know. They don't give drugs to when they are too much younger. They don't give drugs.
But
They just
12-year-olds.
take care. Yes, 12. Yes.
What are the main drugs these people are using?
La droga más típica es el crack y la K2.
What's that?
Es una droga nova, ¿eh? Que colocaron, que tienen aquí en el Brasil, K2, K9. Esas drogas están acabando con aqui no centro. Eu acredito, falam que é tipo de maconha, né? Mas deixa ele dormido, tipo zombie.
Would you say these people are the zombies of Brazil?
Prácticamente. Esa droga los deja como un zombie.
This new drug, K2, is spreading fast across Brazil. It is not crack, it's actually a synthetic cannabis, also known as spice. Users call it the zombie drug for a reason. It causes seizures, hallucinations, and total loss of control. In Sao Paulo's Cracolândia, K12 is becoming more and more common, not just because of its price, but because it's hard to detect in drug tests. As police crack down on crack cocaine, traffickers and addicts are turning to K12, a drug that's even harder to control. And as we are in the heart of what was Cracolândia, this is what it looks like now. They came in here and they've shut down that area where only the drug addicts were at. And so now the people here inside of Cracolândia have been dispersed throughout all of Sao Paulo. So essentially now here in Sao Paulo, there's just little pockets of Cracolândia everywhere. You're seeing them everywhere on the street corners. People look like they're almost dead on the ground, just completely passed out. Or you'll see people as young as 12 years old doing cocaine on the corners. And we did run into some trouble with some people on the side of a corner. No.
Não gravou não. Apaga esse bagulho aí, pai. Você não gravou eles não, né? Não gravou não. Se o pessoal achar que você filmou, eles podem ficar agressivos. Então anda com a câmera baixa. Igual aquele rapaz lá da esquina ficou agressivo porque pensou que a gente tinha filmado ele. Okay. Então anda com a câmera baixa, ok?
We found another translator who's going to come meet with us right now, but this is not an easy video to film so far. Everywhere we go,
Claro, posso.
people have been yelling at us. One group came after us after they saw us walk by just because they saw I had a camera in my hand. They freaked out. Police right there coming through, and now we're waiting for our next translator to come and meet with us. And me and my guide were running into some troubles because of the language barrier, as I do not speak Portuguese. So me and him were getting very frustrated because we were trying to communicate, but we couldn't get across the message. Therefore, we had to bring in a new translator by the name of Sarah to come and help us out.
Gringo aqui falando inglês, eu que falo português e mais ou menos espanhol, e o único idioma que a gente consegue falar parecido é espanhol. Então você pensa a loucura que deve estar esse rolê.
One of the most dangerous spots here in Sao Paulo, two people that don't even speak the same language.
Aqui pessoal que vem almoçar aqui.
Okay.
Entende o que eu tô falando?
Persona isso aqui? So like he just talked to me and I had no idea what he's saying, so this is just getting way too complicated. And while we are waiting to meet with our translator Sarah, I want to tell you guys about something that makes it super helpful when I'm here in other countries like South America, Europe. Everywhere I've gone, I've always used this when I'm outside my country because it makes traveling so much simpler and so much less stressful. And that is Saily eSIM. They're an eSIM that you download onto your phone so that way you get the best possible service when you're out of your home country. And it's super simple. You just download the Saily app onto your phone and then you go ahead and pick a plan from whatever country or location you're at. They have over 200 locations where you can use their eSIM data plans. You will get no roaming fees and you don't have to worry about any weird airport scams by using Saily eSIM, and they even save data by blocking ads on your cell phone. And Saily is compatible with all iOS or Android devices, and if for some reason your phone is not compatible with their eSIM, they'll give you a full refund. So go ahead and download the Saily app and use coupon code SHIRLEY and you'll get 15% off. Or go to saily.com/Shirley and use code Shirley for 15% off. I promise you guys, using Saily abroad will make your travels so much easier. And now let's continue with this video here in Cracolândia and go meet with our translator. And now that we had our translator with us, we headed into a church to see what they do to try and combat the crisis here that's happening inside Sao Paulo. Do you think Cracolândia can be solved?
Sim, só Jesus, né? Porque eu era um traficante, hoje eu tô 16 anos limpo. Aquele que tá no portão ali era um dependente químico. Tem dois aí também que era dependente químico. Então tem jeito, só Jesus pode mudar o quadro e converter a situação.
So you used to sell drugs here inside Brazil. You used to be a trafficker of drugs here. What drugs were you selling and what drugs are now on the streets?
Vendia somente o pó e a maconha.
Now they're taking us inside of the nonprofit where they're feeding all the users here. Being inside here, you realize how big of an issue it is, as they've been here for years, and this place right here is one of the only places here inside of Cracolândia where they can come and seek refuge for a little bit, receive a little bit of the word from God, as this is a church. And before we left this church, this man gave us a few words of advice as to how we should approach talking to these people, and he even gave us a bright shirt to wear that should get us into more dangerous locations.
Você começa a falar, fazer perguntas e mais perguntas, algo assim do gênero, pode tipo criar uma situação e nós sabemos que o que está por trás não gosta de nós, né? Que é o nosso adversário. Ele quer nos matar, na verdade. Então, o Satanás e seus adeptos não aceitam esse trabalho, você querer ganhar as vidas para Jesus, né? Então, a gente tem que usar a inteligência, saber conversar, pensar antes de falar, porque eles são atenciosos, tá bom? A situação que eles se encontram não faz eles nenhum bicho, não faz eles nenhum monstro. Eles precisam de ajuda, na verdade.
This guy's got the firmest handshake I've ever seen in my life.
Tá bom?
Muito gracias. Muito obrigado. Now right here, right behind me, This person's wrapped in a blanket just on the street. I've never been to a location where I feel like it's so intense as far as like where you can point the camera, where you can't point the camera, and what people may do to you. Like the pastor was saying that people might kill you if they see you recording, if you're talking about drugs, stuff like that. So now we got these shirts on. Hopefully it's a little bit better, and we're gonna keep walking around these streets and go more in depth about what's happening here inside of Sao Paulo. I guess people from Cracolândia went in and destroyed all these buildings. It's about 2 blocks just empty buildings, and then you have brand new buildings right here, and there's tons of security as far as cameras and gates go around these other buildings, but these ones right here have been completely destroyed. We've moved a few blocks. Was this place also a place that used to be heavily occupied from people from Cracolândia?
Yeah, so people used to like stay here a lot, like from Cracolândia, but after the government told the police to come here, they took them away from here. But yeah, they used to live here.
And so why did the government finally step in and do something about Cracolândia?
So the government is like the right here now. It's like the Trump government.
Do you think it was a good idea or a bad idea for the government to come in and get rid of Cracolândia, and now that the city has somewhat dispersed the homelessness and drug addicts across the streets, do you think that was a good idea or a bad idea for Sao Paulo?
It was good because now there's no like a lot of people like together there in Cracolândia, but also there's a lot of places in the city that was very safe, and it's not anymore.
Since you have a son right here, does it worry you knowing that there's 12-year-olds here doing drugs openly on the streets of Sao Paulo?
She's not like scared because she keeps him safe, like very safe, and when he starts growing up, she's gonna move to another city, so she's not gonna stay here.
Now here in Sao Paulo, I'd say it's a pretty accurate depiction of what Sao Paulo is like. You have cool buildings, cool skyscrapers, you have lots of graffiti, cool murals, and you also have a lot of homelessness and drug addiction here on the streets, and a lot of poop. I've never seen so much poop on the street in my entire life as I've seen here in Sao Paulo. All right, we're getting closer to the next Cracolândia zone here inside of Sao Paulo. A few blocks away, and it's already seen lots of people just passed out on the street. Got people out here playing dominoes, and then you also have people out doing drugs here on the streets. What drugs are taking over the streets here inside of Sao Paulo?
Olha, na verdade, aqui o pessoal eles gostam muito de usar tipo farinha e maconha.
And has fentanyl arrived to the streets of Sao Paulo?
Sim, lógico.
How many people do you know personally that have died from drugs here in Sao Paulo?
Ah, não tá aqui, ele saiu. Tinha 2 amigos nossos que morreu por causa dessa droga.
How is it living here inside of Sao Paulo now that Cracolândia has been dispersed across the entire city and downtown area of Sao Paulo?
Yes, tá, todo lugar tem, né? Todo lugar tem as pessoas moradoras de rua, né?
And while I was interviewing this man, I saw the police starting to intervene with one of the addicts on the street, so I hurried over there to see what was happening, and one of the police officers was nice enough to give us an interview. What do you think about what's going on here inside of Sao Paulo with the drugs?
I think it's a difficult case because many people think this is very inoffensive. But this is actually not inoffensive. This causes a lot of trouble with the family of the usuaries and the people who are close to the family.
And is it normal to see so many homeless people and people on drugs out in the streets here inside of Sao Paulo?
I think in the middle of the city is very normal.
And why do so many people come to Sao Paulo to do drugs?
I think a lot of people search an opportunity in Sao Paulo, and many can't find this opportunity. Because of this, they think they can get help running away from the reality to the drugs.
So the main Cracolândia is smaller, but now there's these just kind of central points where people also use drugs.
Yeah, I think Cracolândia is smaller, and this is the cause of the people spread around the city, searching for more opportunities to find drugs. But they are actually don't find the drugs easily than before. Only a person can choose drugs alone. I think we can't obligate someone to stop.
So super interesting what he's saying, because what they did with Cracolândia is they essentially made it smaller. We were there earlier in this video where Cracolândia used to be, and he says now they've kind of moved throughout the city, but the reason why they're throughout the city is because now they're going from place to place in search of that drug, and a lot of them don't even eventually even find it, so then they'll find themselves just passed out here on the streets, and that's why you're seeing so many people dispersed here inside Sao Paulo. That's why you're seeing people right here, people right there, people over there, because they've broken down the main Cracolândia and now it's dispersed across the entire city and people are searching for the drugs. And if they don't find it, or if they do eventually find it, either way, they're gonna be laying out here on the street, so we don't know if the person's doing drugs or if they're just passed out, exhausted from searching for drugs for so long. It was now time to enter into the most densely populated area of Cracolândia in Sao Paulo, and right before we were about to enter, two women wanted to come and talk to us.
Eu uso crack e a cachaça.
Tem a cocaína, maconha, crack, tem o lança.
What message would you give to people about the truth about Cracolândia?
É uma coisa que é horrível. De fato, eu como usuária de droga, de fato, eu preferi nunca querer conhecer.
We got a robbery going on right now, right behind us, right here. Someone's robbing them. Now they're punching, and now they're screaming. It was now time to enter into this part of Cracolândia, and if you think this part of Cracolândia is bad, just wait until we go to the last part of Cracolândia here in Sao Paulo on top of a bridge. All right, we're here in the main part of Cracolândia. All right, this is it. We're here. This is the heat of it. Most of the people inside of this section were either passed out, sleeping, or waiting for something to come by. Muy pesado adentro, very heavy inside. You can feel it, it's like very dark. Been to a lot of places, but here it's just different because they're just openly out here in these streets everywhere inside of Sao Paulo. And it just kind of has a weird gloomy feel to it, the city does. Just because, I don't know what it is, whether it's just like darkness, it's like spiritual darkness, or if it's just me personally just thinking that, but it just doesn't feel like it should as far as the vibes you expect when you come to Brazil, especially downtown in this part of Sao Paulo. As we headed to what would be the worst part of the dispersion of Cracolândia across Sao Paulo, we met with one addict who was willing to talk about what it's been like living inside of Cracolândia for the past 10 years. How have you seen Cracolândia change over the past few years?
A questão não mudou, já acabou. Não existe mais Cracolândia.
And what would you consider this right now? Would you say this is small pockets of Cracolândia, what's left? Or is this just a result of what happened to Cracolândia?
Saíram de local para procurar novo local, né? Porque lá não tinha mais cabimento de ficar. Então vieram para cá. Mas não se compara com a Cracolândia mesmo, de verdade.
What are some of the most dangerous things you've seen happen here inside of this part of Sao Paulo?
No começo, todo dia morre aqui, então para mim foi pouco difícil de lidar, mas depois virou uma coisa normal.
What message would you like to give to the rest of the world about the realities of Sao Paulo and Cracolândia?
Bem-vindo ao inferno.
Would you consider Sao Paulo to be hell?
Com certeza. Ou pior pouquinho.
And so what keeps you here on the streets?
Porque, infelizmente, eu sou movido a adrenalina. Se não tiver adrenalina, eu fico doente, eu fico mal. Eu preciso de algo perigoso para poder... Me alimenta, infelizmente. Não gosto disso, mas me alimenta.
Now we're heading to what's supposed to be one of the worst places here in Sao Paulo since Cracolândia has been shut down. This is the last location here where we're going to be checking out. We're on a bridge right now, and they say this is one of the worst spots that's been affected since Cracolândia has been shut down. And alongside this bridge, there's also a whole community of people living underneath it. You can see these people enter into the bridge down below. I can only imagine what happens underneath this bridge. But on top of the bridge, that is where the madness is at. As soon as you walk to this part of the bridge, you have to weave through people just to get to the other side. You can see people doing all sorts of things. People are passed out. Others are in the middle of their high. And as we got closer to the end of the bridge, I could hear people from the back noticing that I was filming, and they started to yell things like, "Get him." And I started to get a little nervous, and I panicked just a little bit as we got to the end of the bridge. Here, get out of here. Go. We gotta get out. Yeah. What were they saying?
They were saying like, he's filming, go get him.
Really? So if we would have stayed there for a few more minutes, we probably would have been
Yeah,
robbed of everything. That was definitely the worst place we've seen in all of Sao Paulo. That's one of the places that's been affected the most since the shutdown of Cracolândia. Now Cracolândia is just in little pockets throughout the city, and we're happy we made it out. And I promise you will not want to miss next week's video. Make sure you are subscribed and turn on your notifications because next week something absolutely crazy happens. All right, he's coming in. How are you doing?